please welcome to the stage Riccardo Giorgio Frega.
Good morning, good morning. Can you hear me? Yes. Good morning, my name is Rikki, or Riccardo Giorgio Frega, as you like. I am an activist, I am a content creator, and I have a project called Bitcoin Explorers with my better half, Laura, that is right there. And what we do is traveling the world, chronicling Bitcoin adoption, mostly in emerging markets and hyperinflating economies. I think what we do is very cool, but still, when we post our contents on social media, we also get a lot of criticism, especially from a part of the crypto community. Usually what they tell us is something that goes like this. Yo, bro, you are lying. Bitcoin is not for everyone. Bitcoin is for the riches. Only the rich guys can afford to stack a lot of Bitcoin. They're going to get rich. So Bitcoin basically enriches the rich only. I'd like to address this topic today because, let's face it, this is bullshit. This is peak Fiat mentality. If you think something like that, that means that you consider Bitcoin as an asset, something you should hoard and hodl, something is gonna make you rich fast, Lambo, blah, 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 blah. But there's so much more than this, okay? Bitcoin is not only a token you can buy, it's also a protocol, and this protocol is doing amazing things all over the world. And the world is a weird place, you know? People is making money making a lot of money in a very small part of the world. Check this out. These are data from the World Bank, okay? And this map basically classifies the world by income level. Now, in this map, the World Bank is a little cheating because if you look at the light green part of the world, that is what they called upper middle income people. And that goes from $4,000 per year to $14,000 per year. That's a huge span. So when you see this map, what you see in light green should be actually mostly pink, because the vast majority of what you see in light green still has a salary, has an income of $5,500 per month, which is nothing. So they cannot save a lot of money, or in many cases, they cannot save at all. Oh, by the way, according to the World Bank, guess which country they expect this year to be upgraded from lower middle income to upper middle income? Who has guesses? Who? Wrong. El Salvador. I wonder why. Who knows why? By the way, no. Unfortunately, this was published by the World Bank in June 2023. They were also expecting West Bank and Gaza to be upgraded. Sadly, I guess that's not going to happen this year, unfortunately. But let's go back to this, to our world. This is the world by income level. If this map is true, and who thinks that Bitcoin enriches the rich only is right, that means that a very slight minority of this world, basically us, are going to benefit from Bitcoin. If this is true, then someone needs to explain me why For the past 3 years, we've been traveling extensively in Central America, in South America, in Africa, in Asia, and we've seen with our own eyes Bitcoin being adopted by several communities, rural communities all over the world. Wow, how this is happening, why this happens. Because you see, the cool thing of traveling in Bitcoin is that you realize how Bitcoin interacts uniquely in every country. It's slightly different. Families use it for different ways, in different ways, according to the real need they have. And what needs do they have? I mean, in Prague, this is a room full of Bitcoiners. There's no need for me to tell you why inflation is bad. We all know that inflation is bad, and that's probably why we Bitcoin. But as a citizen of the first world, we are really lucky, and we don't realize how inflation hits mostly the poor. And you can see that all over the world. Inflation is bad because if you have a low income, you cannot buy different assets as a store of value. You are locked in the fiat world. Literally everything you get, you must save it in fiat. You have no alternatives. For example, if you visit Turkey, the Turkish lira has an inflation of 70% per year. If you travel to Istanbul, you see people lining up, like in the first picture. That's the city center of Istanbul, and those people lining up there, that's a money exchange service. They are not tourists. They are Turks. And the reason why they do that is because the moment they get paid in Turkish fiat, for them, their top priority is how to get rid as fast as we can of the Turkish lira and get something else, whatever, it doesn't matter. Many want the US dollar, but it's not easy for them to get it. It's not available all the time, and especially if you are a low-income class, it's going to be even harder. That's why, of course, they use other ways to protect themselves from inflation. But once again, which ways? If you are a medium or high-class citizen, well, you have plenty of options. If you have enough money, you buy a property. Real estate is still a good store of value. If you don't have enough money, you buy gold. Gold still works as a store of value, as we know. But once again, you need money. The Turks are gold bugs. But if you are a low-income family and what you can save is maybe $10, $25, $50 per month, how do you buy gold? You cannot buy $10 of gold. That's why we say that gold is obsolete. Gold is not liquid enough. Only who has a decent amount of money can have access to gold. That's why Bitcoin is better as a store of value. That's why we call it digital gold, because it's super easy to get and it's super liquid. So you can buy $5. $10 in Bitcoin. And that's why places like Istanbul are full of Bitcoin exchanges, places where you can buy Bitcoin. And you can even pay in Bitcoin. That's Laura paying for, I forgot what, at the central market, at the old market in Istanbul. So what you have to understand is that if inflation for us is bad, for who has a low income is a death sentence. They are stuck with fiat. And that's when Bitcoin comes handy, because Bitcoin is ready and easily available. It doesn't matter, you don't need a lot of money to buy a little Bitcoin. Of course, they buy straight away directly on the Lightning Network. In many cases, for them in the early days, it's going to be custodial, but it doesn't matter because we are saving lives. That's the same thing that happens in South Africa. We've been visiting Bitcoin Ekazi. What they do there is an amazing work in South Africa. They work inside the townships. The townships are the ghettos where the black, colored, and native communities live. And they teach these kids the principles of Bitcoin, why Bitcoin matters, how they can use Bitcoin to have a better life for themselves, why they should talk about Bitcoin with their families, why their families as well should save a little in Bitcoin. And once again, they are teaching them how to use the Lightning Network. Their interaction with Bitcoin is restricted to the Lightning Network thanks to medium of exchange. So when you hear people saying that medium of exchange is a distraction from store of value, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Strong money is both. Sound money is both. Store of value and medium of exchange. We need them both. So it doesn't matter how many Bitcoin you can buy. It's not an investment. It's a lifeboat for billions and billions of people potentially. In this moment, as we speak, is a lifeboat for a slight minority, but it is a lifeboat. And there's more. This is not the only way Bitcoin is changing the world in an unpredictable way, but recently I've seen probably the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So you have to know that according to the IEA, International Energy Agency, the biggest agency on energy that we have on Earth, according to this agency, more than half of the citizens of the sub-Saharan Africa has zero access to electricity. Zero. More than half. In 2024, we've seen them, we visited those houses. They literally have oil lamps. That's how they live in 2024. And it's getting worse. We are talking about 600 million citizens and growing. Twice the population of the United States of America, bigger than the entire Europe. 600 million people lives with zero electricity. And why is that? Because it's not profitable to harvest or produce energy everywhere in the world. Because of our electric grids, is only profitable in the proximity of a huge city that has a huge industrial complex. Because factories are using a lot of electricity. So if you don't have a lot of factories, it makes no sense to build a power plant. It's not because we don't want or the world doesn't want to give them electricity. It's not profitable. And we can see it clearly. This is a map that shows all the different power plants all over the world. You see different dots because every kind of power plant is listed here from coal to hydro. Can you see it? Do you see that Africa and certain areas of the world are completely empty? Why is that? There is no demand. Power plants need to be in proximity of demands all the time. The problem is that sub-Saharan Africa potentially is filthy rich. If you go there, if you visit there, this is what you see. It's so green and so lushy. There's water everywhere, agriculture, rivers. There is so much potential there. But there is not a solution. Even if they have river, they cannot have hydro plants because there is no demand for that electricity. Unless we don't do something like this. This is exactly the same valley, and the container you see in the middle of this valley, it's very close to a small hydro power plant, super small, 2 turbines in this specific case. You can see it better here, you see? This is a small river, that's the channel, and that facility is the small power plant. There is only one tea leaf plantation in the proximity of this power plant and villages. So this power plant you see can barely make it. It's not sustainable, can barely make it unless we don't do this. This is what's inside that container. A Bitcoin miner. The company that does this is called Gridless. It's in Kenya, and they are buying stranded electricity from every small power plant not only in Kenya, but in many countries of Africa. They are buying all their stranded electricity, all the electricity they don't use. And by doing this, they make their business more profitable. This company, the company that managed this power plant, is not only now, thanks to Bitcoin and to mining, ready to invest more in this plant, but they are also building other power plants. This picture you see, it's a little upstream, and what you see back there is a brand new power plant, 4 turbines in this case. And the only reason why they are investing more in this power plant now is because they know that these people, Gridless, and not only Gridless, they're going to buy every drop of electricity they can produce. And this is how we electrify Africa. This is a village close by. They still remember the first time they got electricity. It was a life-changing experience. I'm shaving my beard there, and that guy now can serve more clients with his electric razor. It can be more productive. There is a container in this village. There is a refrigerator, power refrigerator. It's the first refrigerator they see in their life. Every family of the village has one shelf, and they can store there whatever they like. Businesses, who has a restaurant, who has a bar, can buy more now and be more productive. This is the market. This is the open market. This is how we help Africa. This is how we give them opportunity. This is how Bitcoin level up the world. Not with charity. Giving them an opportunity to be more productive, giving them an opportunity to create value and inject value in their own society. This is how Bitcoin changes the world in unpredictable ways. Never forget about it. Thank you so much.